Hello. So thought I'd try making another video for round of 32. It's the wildcard. Deadline is Sunday at 8 o'clock. I think in my last video I said Monday at 8 o'clock, and it's Sunday, so it's coming around quick. We're only going to get the bracket isn't even finalised yet until tomorrow, so you've got like a day to figure it all out. It's probably the most important part of the game, because unless you saved your wildcard, this is the last kind of wildcard you get until, and it's got to last the last five rounds, so it's quite important. It's coming around very quick. Limited knowledge, just got to kind of figure it out quickly. Also making excuses, but we've had like a massive heat wave in the UK as well, and so it's like very sleep deprived, all that business, brain not functioning properly, so we'll just make the best of what we got. Here's where I'm up to at the moment, but this is not really deeply thought about. This is kind of quickly hashed together. I originally had Kane in there, but I've kind of run out of money, so I've had to kind of make cutbacks and stuff, so I'm not sure, but I'll talk you through where I've got to. Quick look at how I'm getting on, which is not that great. Does anybody care about how I'm getting on? I'll just put it on anyway. Rank 200k, not doing that great. Well, it's fine, but it's like I'd rather be doing better. Conan not starting again is my fourth defender. The team got a clean sheet, but my defender didn't play, so he got benched. I had Nico O'Reilly who got benched, which was a risk, but Ordóñez, and then Cancelo had a half-time sub as well, so I don't know. Some of them unlucky, some of them it could have been because they're playing Curaçao, they're not going to play defensive defenders so much. If I'd researched more, I don't know. It's you got to make quick decisions, so you can't do all the research sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Sarg captain was quite nice. I've had a couple. I need Rashford and Paz to save me here, and I've got no idea if they're even going to start. So yeah, risky picks here and there. Let's move on to the wild card, because that's the interesting bit anyway. So what are we doing? So chip strategy first. You got your boosters. I mean, qualification boosters round of 32. I would assume, because it's the easiest to predict the winners versus the losers in that round. And your max cap, if you still got it for the final, because that's the hardest to predict. It's the same kind of thing, so you know, the same scale. So I'm thinking qualification booster round of 32, easiest to predict. Yeah, I won't talk about that too much. The clean sheet shield, I was thinking quarterfinals or round of 16 probably, because it was only really based on this little thing here. So I looked at the rate of conceding one or less goal per team throughout all the last tournaments. I went through this in my first video, and it just looked a little bit like there was a bit of a lull in the quarterfinals. That was like the highest rate in the knockouts, and it kind of coincided with fewer goals in the quarterfinals. We've got the round of 32 this round as well, so maybe that'll push it back to the round of 16, but it just seemed to be like there was a lot of goals in the round of 16, and quarterfinals was the fewest amount of goals. I don't really know. Am I reading that data properly as well? Yeah, so that was the most amount of times there was one or less goals conceded by a team. But I don't know. I don't know if there's much to say in that data. There's the clean sheet shield. There's like two extremes I'm thinking of, which is like you either go for really good defenders from really good teams, but then you risk wasting the clean sheet, because you might get clean sheets anyway. Your team, your players might be so good that you don't really need a shield for that. But then the other extreme is you go for crap players who are nice and cheap. You can save loads of money, and then you can use your shield for it. But then you're going to have those crap players for the other 4 rounds after around it. And if you use a shield, if they concede 2 or more, you've wasted the shield as well there. So my thinking on that spectrum is that I'm just going to go for good defenders from good teams anyway. Forget the clean shield. Just you got the other 4 rounds to think of as well with when you're picking your players. So try and get 5 good defenders and keepers from good teams, and then because even the good teams still sometimes concede 1 goal, and so just use the clean sheet shield. Then probably use it in quarterfinals or round of 16, because I'm using the qualification in 32 and max cap in final. So that's kind of that. I'll wing that. Yep, that's the chip strat. If you've got any other chips, just use them ASAP really. If you've got all 5 chips, you got 5 rounds to use them, so you've got to use a chip every round. Yeah, anyway, that's that. Let's move on. Let's look at the bracket. So this is like the interesting thing. I've seen other people doing videos on this, so most people will pick it up fairly quick. The bracket is not fully finalised, but it's kind of finalised. So all these teams, wherever there's more flags, that means it's not fully finalised, but all the ones where there's just one flag, I'm pretty sure that means it's pretty much locked in. There might be one or two that's like, yeah, that one's like 99% Ecuador. It's pretty much certain. So it's pretty much locked in. One thing I would say is that England, I think they're more likely to play Congo than Senegal at the moment. I've seen a few predictions saying it's going to be, like this one says, it's more likely to be Senegal. Now, I have a history of questioning experts and then being humbled because they're right and I'm wrong usually. I just think it's Congo, because basically if Congo beat Uzbekistan, then as far as I know, they're 100% definitely going to play the winner of Group L, is my understanding of it, because there are no other permutations. There are no other permutations. Like, of all the permutations here, where the third place in Group K, they all involve playing the winner of Group L. Like 100% of them there. It's 100%. They've got no option. So if Congo beat Uzbekistan and finish third in their group, then they will play England, and they're currently predicted to be like 60% chance of beating Uzbekistan. So I think that's more likely to be Congo. If they don't beat Uzbekistan, then it might be Senegal. Where are we? So let's have a look at this. Anyway, yeah, so I think that would be Congo. So because Senegal's going to put you off going for England players, whereas Congo won't. I think I'd have a bit of Congo. This is just the team strength, so you can kind of get a sense. I'll get onto that in a minute. So, yeah, the other brackets aren't really that interesting. Maybe Portugal, Colombia could be interesting. If Portugal end up over here, or Colombia, whoever tops the group will be interesting, because at the moment I've got them as playing Ghana. Well, I think that's, yeah, maybe Ghana. I'm not sure. The third place is still in flux at the moment, but whoever tops the group could have a relatively nice route. Yep, but that's the bracket. So, and this is just team strength. This is the each quarter. If you think of each quarter, because basically we just got to get from here to the semi-final, because the teams that get to the semi-final will all play again in the final, because you got the third place playoff. So those 6 transfers you get in the final are just luxury transfers. Don't worry about those. So if you can just make it to the semi-finals in good shape, then you're okay. So I'm thinking, if I can just pick the teams that I think are going to make it to the semi-finals, then that should be it. I mean, you can start thinking about booking transfers in and stuff, but my feeling about the transfers is that there's always surprises, and we always get wrecked more than people think we do. There are always surprises, so I'm trying to kind of pick the favourites, and so I'm thinking it's like France, Spain, England, and Argentina. It could be Brazil, but I've got England and Argentina at the moment. I don't know whether I've got a bias against England there, like being English. I'm not sure they're good, but in terms of the bookies, they should be the one that make it to the semis. So I'm thinking that, just going with the favourites. And while I'm on the topic as well, there's another thought I keep thinking, which is like, do you hedge your bets and get like a few players from multiple teams, or do you just go all in on the likely favourites? And I think at the moment I'm leaning towards this idea of going all in. So, this is the round of 32. If you just picked one player from all the favourites and nobody from the underdogs, you could get 15 players all qualify, or you could get 0 players qualify. So you could get totally wrecked. Now you can play it safe. You could do another method here where you kind of, and I spoke about this in my first video, but I'm just going to go over it again. You can play safe and kind of spread your bets. One player from one team, another player from another. And if you do that, you can get a minimum of 7 players through, and with your 4 free transfers, you'll have an absolute definite minimum floor of having 11 players for the next round, but you've also got a maximum of 12. So you've raised your floor, limited your ceiling. So it's safe, but it's like, and I don't think that's the way to play it. I think the way I'm going to play it this time is just go all in on the favourites. And even though I could get wrecked, I'm going to try and trust that number, which is the upset rate I've got of like 75%. I'm just going to trust it. And if there is 75% upset rate, so like 25% go out, then I should still end up with about 11 players, and with my 4 free transfers, should work out better. So that's the method I'm thinking. So I'm not going to hedge. So, the idea of going for 2 players from the same team, I'd rather just go all in on one team and hope that wins, particularly the favourites, especially heavy favourites. Like I think I might avoid Netherlands and Morocco, although by the team strength, it looks like Netherlands is actually probably better. But I'm probably going to avoid games like that and just go for the favourites. Yep. And booking transfers in again. So I think I'm just going to go all in on like Argentina, France, Spain and stuff, because you could book some transfers in and just say, well, I'll go for America for a couple and then switch them to other players. Maybe I'll look into that. I'm not at that stage yet, but at the moment, just keeping it simple. So 4 quarters, Argentina have the best group. This one here is like the overall, the average team strength of each quarter. And that one's the easiest. That's the lowest strength. That one's the second lowest, and then these two are... Oh no, that one's the highest, sorry. That one's the highest, and these two are kind of average in the middle. So this is the easiest group. Argentina, all the way. They've got Cape Verde, probably Australia or Egypt, and then one of these 4. Switzerland, Iran, Algeria, maybe all these... probably Portugal or Colombia. So triple Argentina. And then the other groups, France... I've got Sweden as a great game, but then they go into Germany, maybe Netherlands, maybe Spain. It's tricky, but France are France. They're very good, so you might go for them. Rest of the groups in this quadrant, I think I'm going to avoid. Then you got Spain, favourites over here. Austria or Algeria, probably. Then they'll go into Colombia, maybe Portugal. I mean, that's tricky. Then possibly Belgium or America. Then France. So it is still tricky, but... not as good as Argentina, but they've got a good first game, not bad second. They should still be expected to win the second as well. So Belgium are the favourites here, but then I don't fancy that against America if they meet America in round of 16. So, and America did have a nice little spot here where it wasn't predicted to be Belgium, but now it's Belgium there. That feels a bit tricky around of 16. And then up here in this quarter, England... If they got Congo, that looks good. Mexico, on paper, is good. Now it's Mexico at home, so you've probably got to give them a good bump there. But, it's quite good. And then Brazil is fairly even. But, England, I think, are the teams that stand out here. Brazil, Japan is pretty good. Yeah. Norway's tough, though. So... what I'm thinking with the team is there's triple Argentina I want, and then there's also like there's the big 6 players who just come to mind straight away. So it was like Mbappe, Messi, Kane, Vinny, Yamal, and then one of Elise or Dembele. I'm gone for Elise because I prefer him and he's cheaper than Dembele, 0.5 cheaper. But it could be that Dembele's the one who's more likely to get more goals. I don't know. Probably still Elise. I've got him there for now. So they're like the big 6. But once you put those 6 in, you've got about 45 million for the other 9 players, which is about 5 million each on average. So it doesn't leave much money. But so I started there, and then I started thinking, well, I want my triple Argentina. So I just started with defence really as well. Like so the thing about the keepers as well. Keepers, I'm thinking you want one from each half. And probably, well, it doesn't matter. You just want somebody from this semi-final or this semi-final. So Argentina or England keeper and a France or Spain keeper, something like that. So I've just gone for Martinez and Simon. Both 5 mil. Probably Argentina. They're the favourites on this side of bracket, and then Spain are the favourites on this side. It doesn't matter too much if they both make it to the final. That's actually bad. So you kind of want one to lose the semi-final. So you want a team that will get to the semi-final and lose, But it doesn't really matter. You'll have loads of transfers, 6-3 transfers in the final anyway, so that shouldn't matter. But then that will just avoid them ever meeting each other, and you might get lucky and not have to make a goalkeeper transfer then. So I've gone for Simon and Martinez. There's some talk of loads of fans think Simon shouldn't be the keeper, and it should be Raya or Garcia, I think. But from what I can tell, the manager is adamant that Simon's the number one. He seems really adamant that he's the one. So I think I'm just going with that for now. I think he looks like he's pretty safe. Started all three of the first 3 match days, so sticking with that. I'm going to have to double check all of these players, but so I've got those two in. Then you've got the defence, and I'm thinking, so I want I need my 3 Argentinian players. So I need an Argentinian defender, and I don't know. I need to research Tagliafico because he looked like he was nailed before and then he got injured, but he might be on his way back. So I need to see if he plays today, and if he's back, he might be the one who's fairly nailed left back. I think he is, and he might be a bit attacking as well. So he could be the one, and he's cheap. But if not, I'll probably go for Martinez. Lisandro Martinez looks like he's probably the most nailed. You got Romero, but he might have a bit of an injury. And then Otamendi. And you want somebody. I'm trying to play as though I never have to make a transfer at all, because the game's going to force me to make transfers, I should think, as I go through. So I'm trying to just every position try and keep it nailed right to the final. So Tagliafico I need to research, just check he's going to start. But if he's not, it might be Martinez I'll go for. If I want a bit of the French defence, it's Upamecano, as far as I can tell. Saliba got replaced by Lacroix in the last game, so he's not necessarily nailed. He might be, but I don't know. That's not how you spell Saliba. He's 5.3. He's the same price. But at the moment, I mean, Upamecano just seems like he's the one. He's the most nailed. Get a bit of the French defence, playing Sweden. That's good. Another point on the not going for people up from Netherlands and Morocco as well, is if you're using the qualification booster, you're putting yourself at a risk of not getting the points for that, because you want to, because you've got to kind of factor in that extra 2 points as well. So there's that qualification booster, and I said it on my first video as well. I'll just say it again. The qualification booster doesn't count towards captaincy or scouting bonus. It's just a totally separate 2 points that gets latched on at the end. So you've got the whole game, plays as normal, players get your points, captaincy, scouting bonus, and then if they happen to qualify, you just get this extra 2 points latched on. That's it. So it doesn't factor in. But the clean sheet bonus, the clean sheet shield, my presumption was that it would count towards scouting bonus, because it seems weird that if your player concedes a goal but keeps his clean sheet, well, he's still got 5 points and 7 points with minutes and stuff. So if he's got 7 points, you would expect the scouting bonus. But I was talking to FPL Joe about it. I hope you don't mind me sharing. And he said he'd looked into the code a little bit, and it doesn't necessarily look certain that will be the case, because in the coding, so the clean sheet shield is applied before captaincy. So if you get your clean sheet points, it should get doubled for captaincy, but it's not necessarily clear that you'll get the scouting bonus for it. Now I still assume you probably will. It just seems like you would, but it's a kind of FIFA thing. Like FIFA, you never know what's going to happen. I'm not sure if this will affect our decision making that much, because I'm not really thinking about scouting bonus at all. Like, I'm just picking players. Like, I don't even care about scouting bonus anymore. Maybe a little bit if I can get it, but even if you get it, you're probably going to get it for one round and then lose it in the next one. But it might be something some people want to think about. That, I don't know, if you want to think about that more, it might factor into your thinking. So you might get like a player who's got on a clean sheet, got scouting bonus, then they concede one goal, he keeps his clean sheet points, but he loses his scouting bonus. That would be a weird thing to be. He's on 7 points. They get a last minute, conceded a last minute goal, clean sheet wipeout. They keep the 7 points because they're using the shield, but his scouting bonus disappears just because of the way they've done the metrics, the maths. It could happen. I don't know. I'm not really worrying about it too much though, but I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway, back to the team. Upamecano, Tagliafico or Martinez. No, I originally put Cucurella in there because I had Kane up front, and so I wanted my triple Spain. And Spain have had 3 clean sheets in a row, haven't they? So I feel like I would like to go back to that. I mean, this is how I originally had it. Kane, and that's not going to happen, is it? Get rid of him. I had Kane up there and Cucurella. It was something like this, but I went overpriced, and so I had and then Konza is like the most nailed from England. I think I want an England defender. They conceded 0 goals in qualifying, so it just feels like I've got to get an England defender in there, and it feels like it's Konza. He just seems to be the most nailed. Yeah, I mean, I've been on FB Ref looking at their minutes and stuff. Konza was the most nailed defender so far in the World Cup. Where is it? So far in the World Cup. Yes, I'm not a human. I am a human. It's not working. I'm going to ignore that. He's played every game. He's played every game. So I think Konza's the one who is the most nailed. And then you get to like this stage where you've got like 3 players left and no money. And so I stuck like Manzambi was just like the best cheap player I could find, who seemed kind of exciting. Again, I'm going to have to do some more research because he didn't start the first game. But he actually don't even start. I don't think he even started the second game, but he came off the bench and scored loads, didn't he? I think. He didn't start the second game, but he still scored 2 goals. And then they've obviously thought, well, we better start him, haven't we? And he gets another goal and assist here. Sounds like a good player, but will he start? Could be a risk. He's cheap. Looks like a good game here. If it's Iran, might be Algeria. I don't know yet. The third place teams aren't. They're tricky to figure out. Then he'd obviously go into harder fixtures. But the problem with your cheap players as well is that at the moment I'm buying cheap players from crapper teams who are probably going to get knocked out. And then when it comes to replacing them, I might be a bit screwed because I'm not going to have the money. So I'm wondering whether it's better to have a more spread out budget. That's why I started thinking, well, maybe I should go for Oyarzabal. Because of these big 6, can I kind of get rid of, do I absolutely have to have all of them? And I was kind of thinking, well, Messi like feels like the most nailed, but then at the start of the tournament I wasn't actually considering him. I was thinking he's probably a bit old, he plays in America, he's probably past it, but obviously it doesn't seem to be past it at all. So I think I'm going to have to keep him. Mbappe's obviously brilliant, but he's got a tough run. You could argue that his run to the final's tough. And Kane is good, but I'm kind of got a bad feeling about England. Like, are they really going to do it? So I don't know. Could I get rid of Kane for Oyarzabal? I mean, the thing about getting rid of Mbappe is I could get maybe Dembele in. They got goal scorers all around their team, whereas if you don't have Kane, there's not really. You can't really go for Saka, Madueke, Gordon, Rashford, Bellingham maybe, but I don't really love that. So I'm trying to figure out where I can get some money to spread the money a little bit more. Yeah, so that's something I've got to play with. And I need to find some cheap players. Diffuser Rolls is very, very cheap. He's got South Africa, which is a pretty good game, and they've got the home crowd as well, so that's actually not a bad game for the first game. It's not absolutely an absolute banker that they'll qualify, but probably it's pretty good. Not sure where it's played at the moment, but I'll have to look into that as well. It won't be in Canada though, will it? So I think it'll be in like Los Angeles, probably something like that. San Francisco maybe. But then he's going to be like a waste in the next round. I mean, I could use the clean sheet shield in the next round, but then I would imagine Netherlands will score more than 1. So it's like I'd rather have. I almost feel a clean sheet shield in this quarter-final feels better when you've got loads of good teams versus other good teams, and you're just hoping that they can keep the score down. Yeah, probably be a bit of a waste in round of 32. Might be good in round of 16. Could be good in round of 16. I don't know. So, that's where I'm at though. I've got to figure out cheap players. If I can find some, I mean, there's players like Tyler Adams, Kessie. They're kind of cheap. Kessie, but I don't love that. Tyler Adams, maybe, but he's not going to get any goals or anything, is he? There is one thing you could do. I was wondering, which is, I wonder if you could like buy a cheap player and then just not replace them. So if Diffuse rolls, he'd be good for round of 32, and then if he goes out in round of 16, just leave him on my bench. Because what normally happens in these games is when a team gets eliminated, they get eliminated from the game, so you can't pick them. But if they're in your team, they just stay in your team as a DMP, does not play kind of player. And you can just put them on your bench as a, you know, in FPL you have sometimes your third on your bench is a dead spot that doesn't even play and you don't even care. It's just to save money. You could do something like that, but then in this game, your bench is so handy because it's an extra roll of the dice. It's not like an FPL, so that feels like a waste. Feels like I probably ought to be spreading the money out if I can to get some decent players. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to try and... I think I'm going to have to take some money out of this big six and spread it around a little bit. But I think I want to have, like... I like that defence of just nailed... I'm just going to get nailed clean sheet points. Don't care about scouting bonus. If it's not Kukurea, it'll be Kubasi, probably. That kind of thing. Yeah. So I think that's where I'm at. Yeah, okay, I won't waste any more time. So I'll leave it there. Good luck. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.